Hi. Yesterday posted a video about autism, and I got one of my viewers that pointed out that they have sensory issues when it comes to having autism. I'd like to talk a little bit more about that because you made a really good point there. My daughter has sensory issues when she goes to eat. She has to severely taste the food and kind of think about it before she actually eats it. And it's the same thing with like loud noises, you know, affect her in certain ways where she might throw a tantrum or she might like it, depending. She's very good with music, loves music. She's very good with math. Um, I've noticed that there was actually, when you mentioned the sensory issues, it brought up a pretty big subject there because my daughter has sensory issues, and everything from touch, taste, hearing, seeing, smelling, is a big part of their lives, more so than just, the average person. Um, it's really something to notice because you don't get that very often. You live your normal life. You don't really think about. You just eat. It smells good. You eat it, whatever. But with them, they really have to take time to adjust to the taste and see if they really like it. And it could be a 5 to 10 minute process before they start eating dinner. And with my daughter, that's the case. Some more advanced types of autism have issues with mobility as well because they do that walking on their tippy toes. And you would think a lot of toddlers walk on their tippy toes, but with autism, it is a drastic tippy toe thing. And, my daughter did do that for a little bit. We had to teach her otherwise. The younger you catch it and the younger you start reteaching the way of life, the better the quality of life will be when they grow up. You can reverse autism in a way, but just like any other thing, the younger you catch it, the better. Um, it is hard to try and reverse it once you are already grown up. Sadly enough, and as a kid, you're taught all these things and it sticks with you. With autism, you're told not to do something, it's going to be disastrous if it happens and you do it. Um, a lot of people think of autism as a very common thing, like the. I don't know if any of you have watched that movie, Raymond. It was an 1980s movie about autism, and that would be a good example of a very severe autism. There are different spectrums of autism and range from low to severe. My daughter is in the severe, but not as bad as that character in that movie, for instance. She does do things and she gets mad or something doesn't go her way. She does, like, hit her face and scream. So she is a pretty high level of autism. But I don't believe that it is the highest because I have seen worse. Very, very much worse. I think it's something you can only see over time. Usually, it declares itself around 18 months old. So, usually as a baby, they don't really have it. It just kind of declares itself over time. And most of the doctors just kind of diagnose it and then just be like, okay, well, have a good life. I believe you can do much better. And I believe the way of teaching and raising your child can change everything. actually, about how they're gonna be as they grow up. If you treat them like they have autism and you put them in schools for special autism and they're around other autism kids, they're gonna pick up habits from them. They're gonna pick up you become who you hang out with, is what I believe. And if you are with special needs children, you're gonna start picking up special needs. It is just a known fact. I believe that she may not be suitable for a public school, but I wouldn't put it past her that if she did go there, she would pick up things of more normal sort. A lot of people think that, I'm sure, that by me saying something like that would mean that she's different. Well, yeah, she's different. But she's not, like, I'm not, a lot of people think, oh, well, she's retarded or she's, no, it's not like that. She's actually 10 times smarter than I am. And most of autism people are 10 times smarter than anybody. I have a lower spectrum of autism, so it's easier to see that, you know, it's a lot easier to see that I was able to become normal. But like I said before, I graduated from high school and I have a job and I own my own car that I paid off and everything else, just like normal people. But for instance, I had issues growing up, where I wasn't comfortable calling. I'm currently not capable of driving outside of my town. It is a fear that I have. Unfortunately, because of the autism, I am affected that way. I'm unable to leave my town. Just the idea of not knowing where I'm going scares me to death. People think that, it's a little weird, but it is that. Some things like that do affect me. I can't really switch my job, for instance, because everything for me has always been routine, and for me it is routine. My job is routine. And so if I were to switch my job, that would be a different routine, and it doesn't work very well. I don't like change at all. I cannot stand change, and I grew up having to move from one country to another, having to evolve and constantly start over, and for me that was hell. Complete hell. But I believe that's also what pushed me forward to being who I am today and not being so trapped into my own little world. I believe that having an autism child, you need to push them forward regardless of how uncomfortable they feel. Don't push them too much, of course, but it's definitely a good idea to have a lot of change in order to make them accustomed to it and feel more comfortable, because once they grow up, they're gonna need, that. And the normal people, there's change all the time. They don't like change, they like routine. So it is good to push them forward that way, and that will help them a lot, I believe. Tomorrow I will try and post another video and explain some more about that subject, about how to push them forward to stuff. And anyway, you can comment or subscribe, and if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer it. Alrighty.